Hello. So, recording? Yes. So, this is Hideous Ugly Overdraw. And it happens over here and not over here because our grass may look not too much different, but our polygons, lighting only, look entirely different. These are cut out, these are not. The shaders have or the engine has a horribly hard time dealing with that. I hope down the line they'll find some way around that. Anyways, what I'm going to show you how to do today, and hopefully it's helpful, is to take the textures for this grass, convert its alpha to a vector. Inside of Maya, convert that vector to polygons, then project the UVs onto it so they're all happy, then reorientate them and bring it back into Unreal and be able to paint them in and have them be happy. And the cutting out is normally a total pain in the butt because you have to do it by hand. But with Vector Magic, it's fairly automated. So, the grass you're looking at is from Quixel. They got a lot of really stinking awesome stuff. But here we are when we download their stuff. Here's what it looks like in these folders, and then here's the textures inside of Atlas. And you got all your various albedo and translucency and all that happy jazz. So what we're after is the opacity, and we want to start out with the big 4K opacity. And so this is Vector Magic, and we're just going to take this opacity map and drag and drop it into here. And then we're going to go the basic route over here on the right. And make sure I'm recording. Yeah, okay. So we click on basic. And then this artwork is with nice clean edges, as we can tell. So we're going to click on blended edges. And its sharpness, we're going to click on high. And then it's only two colors, black and white. And then it segments it out. And it smooths the results. Now, if you want, you can have it keep all the teeny details. But it gets so close anyways that I wouldn't stress on the teeny details. So once it's done smoothing these results here, right now it's on high. And you don't really need high, but it takes a while to process it down to low. So, yeah, let's process it over to low. So, I'll have to give it just a moment. My apologies on the delay. How's it been? In the meantime, we'll jump over to Maya and start setting things up. Yeah, so I have my human in here just for a scale reference. And then we're just going to make a plane, scale it up, and rotate it, on whatever, 90. So that we're just looking at a nice flat plane. And it's got its UVs are, just 0 to 1, normal UVs. So now if we check back in with Vector Magic, we should have processed it there. And you see, it's still got plenty of detail. There's just no need for the super high at all. Anywho, so now that we're here, we click next, and then we save as in the same folder, but as an AI file. And we'll save that there. So we're done with that. So now inside of Maya, we say create Adobe Illustrator Object. And then we want to browse to the folder where that lives, which I put it with the others. And then we select that AI file, and there's all my shapes. So first things first, I want to line this up with the middle. So a quick way of doing that is select the square, since the square is the outside and it's square. And we'll say, where'd it go? Modify center pivot. So that puts that pivot point right there. Now, if we unparent this curve, this square one, and then take the group of all the curves and put it underneath that one, well, now all their pivot point is where that square's middle is. So if we hold down X and put it in order to grid snap point and snap to the center here, then it's dead center. This is going to help out with UVs later on. So that's why you want to do that. And we'll hide the human. And on the plane, what we're going to do, we're going to create a temporary shader to kind of help guide us. So we're going to say assign new material, and it's going to be a surface shader because we're just dealing with textures. And then we go to out color, and we're going to go file, and we're going to go image name, and we're going to jump to the folder where we had all those textures. And we can go with, hopefully, we'll go with the opacity, right? The 2K opacity. There it is. 2K opacity, right? Yeah, there we go. So now, if we go to front and we look, we're just going to scale this polygon in the background up to match that. And if I'm right, I think, yeah, it's I don't know why, but it's like 36.2. Right about there is how much you have to scale the polygon up to get it to line up with the curves. But now you can see the curves are all nice and happy. Okay, maybe that 36.2 is a squidge too big. So 36.1. There we go. So, gonna be annoying. 1.5? Nope. 36.1. There we go. Close enough. So now we got all these curves that match that shape. So what we want to do now, we'll jump back into perspective. We want to convert these to polygons. So we're going to hide that plane temporarily. And we're going to select, say, this first one. And sadly, you have to do them one at a time, and that's kind of annoying. But anyways, you say surfaces and planar. And what you're going to want to do in the options is say polygons, and you're going to want to say count. Count just gives it more of an even spread of polygons. So we'll say like 500. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's probably good. So, and then we select this guy. Oh, yeah. Whoops. That guy messed up. There we go. Apply. Ah, that guy had a hole at the bottom. That's why. So, what we want to do is select the outside, then select the hole, and hit apply. And it should have cut the hole, but whatever. It's small. This one's a bit more important. You select the first outer curve, then hold shift and select the inner curves, and hit apply, and see it cut this hole out, and the same right there. If you want more detail, then just up the polygon count. Then we'll select this guy. That hole's too small to worry about. Hit apply. Oh, and of course it didn't work right. There we go. So, click on it, hit apply, select it. Oh, that one has a big hole in it. Oh, also you can hit the G key in order to just redo it if you want to go faster. So G key, select this one, and shift select these holes. Oop, that one, select that one, shift select the holes that are big enough for you to worry about, and then hit the G key or apply, and there you go. Same with this one, shift key, G, and this one, and G, and this one, and yeah, why not? There we go. Ooh, this one's a little more complicated. So that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy, G key, that'll do. And that guy, and then shift, click each of those, and then G key. There. So now we have our polygons all nice and cut out. Big time saver right there. But some are facing the wrong way, so let's isolate our selection down to polygons and select just these grasses right here. I'm just going through and shift clicking them. I could shift drag, but anyways. Then we say mesh display reverse. All right, so now they're all happy polygons facing the happy direction. Now we want to keep this outside curve shown for guidance. I'm saving this as grass clumps B. Yeah. So now we want to UV this, but we have to make sure that the UVs match the UV space of this. 0 to 1 has to match, here up to here. So we can do that, show this plane, and jump over to front view. and we can go 4 so we can see what we're looking at. And here's all those grass bits. What we're going to do is we're going to UV them all at once, and we're going to say planar UV, and it's so we're on looking at the XY plane, so Z is the in. So we're going to say apply. And so first thing we want to do is, because we're working around the center pivot point of the whole world, so first we want to click on the bottom left here so we can move it, and then we hold down X to snap to grid and snap it to the middle of the grid. There. So now the UV gizmo is at the center, and then we can click this bottom left gizmo thingy tool, whatever, again to let us scale. And then we scale it just to be in line with everything else. About like so. And about like so. Yes. There we go. And let's get in there a little bit closer. Because we don't want it stretched. That's our main thing. We want to get everything as close as possible. That way all the UVs for all the grass will line up. And then we're done with that. So we just click off it. And now all of these should be happily UV'd. And we're going to go to perspective. And we'll just drag them out this way to separate them out a bit. And we'll say 5 and 6. So we're looking at textures. They got no texture yet. But just to ensure that everything worked, we're going to assign new material, surface shader. The color, we're going to select a file. And we want to select the grass color, because we want to see the color on the cutouts. And that is the albedo. That's the word I'm looking for. And there it is. So we can see the grass actually lines up with all of its shapes that it's supposed to. So that is working very nicely so far. So now I'm going to go ahead and rename these and get these positioned for painting. So I'll name these SM for static mesh, and then just hit enter. And there. They got happy numbers on them. So now there's getting their pivot point fixed. So we're going to isolate select, or first save, then isolate select. And now on each of these, what we want to do is say, hold down D to move the pivot point, and then V to snap to a point in space. And we're going to put it at the base of each of these. So DV, left click on it, then hold down D, then hold down V, and middle mouse drag to the bottom of it. Select the next one, hold down D, hold down V, and then middle mouse drag to the bottom. And then you just go through and do that for all of them. Oops, shouldn't take too horribly long because it's just this grass. How you doing? A couple more to go. Whoop. And then we select all these, and we hold down X for grid snapping, and there. Now they're all at 0, 0. So, if we wanted to, at this point, which I suppose I could real quick, is just duplicate each one, rotate it by 90 degrees, and then merge it with its counterpart. That way, you get one of these sort of things. We don't have to do that, but if you wanted to, if you're working on a bush or a tree and you want to make it a X intersection, you can do that. I'll save a little time by just not doing that. And I will just select these guys and save where I am, and then I'll say File, Send to Unreal. Hopefully I have the right project. Yes, I do. All right, and we're calling this Grass Clumps B. And yeah. And we'll say Export Selection. There we go. Now we jump over to Unreal. And yeah, we'll make a new folder called Grass Clumps B. Just like so. And then we go inside that folder and we say import. And we want to find Oh, we're over at the Maya project. So we want to go to Unreal projects. That project, import grass clumps B. There it is. Now when we import, what we want to do is make sure to come down here, and normally it's on none. We want to set it to small props or whatever setting you think might work better. But what this will do is this will build the LODs for the vertices. Yeah, it'll build the LODs for the vertices, which is important for when you zoom out. Otherwise, you get a massive vertex count, and you ruin any savings you had. Also, we don't care about the material. We don't want that, so we turned do not create a material, and also don't import the textures. So what it's going to do is it just went through and brought these in and created a mesh. Now this mesh automatically has LODs. So if I hit F, you can see up in the top left where it triangles 242. And as we zoom out, we get all the way down to 30, which is rocking. So yeah, because the importer automatically builds the LODs for me. So I'm going to save all that. And then what I'm going to do, now the materials, you'll need to probably, it would be a good idea to optimize those as well. I'll save that for another tutorial. In the meantime, what we're going to do is just take the 2K ones and bring them in. And we'll just bring in a couple of them, like the normal and although my shader, yeah, the normal and the albedo. Yeah, there we go. All right, so now we jump over to current Unreal projects, SnarkBiz, import, and we'll just pop these in here just for the sakes of popping them in there. We open it up, and there they are. Make sure this one got understood as a normal, hopefully. Yeah, normal. Okay. And then we're going to create a new material. This is going to be a total unoptimized material because that's an entirely different issue. Right now we're just talking about the overdraw. So what we want is to take both of these textures. There we go. Drag them into here. We could also drag in the alpha if we want, but we shouldn't have to. That's kind of the benefit of doing this also, is you don't need your alpha anymore. But you could if you want. Anyways, drag the base color into the base color, drag the normal into the normal, and we'll say save. Give it a second, because it's got a process. We all know how shader compiling is wonderful in Unreal. So now, a little bit of a rude part, this won't take too horribly long though, is we just have to open up all of these dumb little grasses, and it takes just a moment. But it's worth it in the end, I swear. And then we just want to select that material, and we're going to dump this mat onto all these. So it's selected, popped it in there. Next one, pop it in there. Next one in there. And in there, I'm just hitting the little arrow here on the side to populate the material of each of these meshes with the grass material we just created. And then we hit save all. And I'll just grab a little test square here to draw some new grass on. We'll put it right up here. There we go. So now what we want to do is select that, and want to make sure I don't have any other. Oh, I had some paint stuff turned on. So make sure all your other paint geometry is turned off. And then if you do have any, select the new geometry, because now it has its new materials and its new LODs. Drag and drop that in. And it should be checked wherever it is. There it is. There we go. And we're going to highlight it so we can change some of the settings on it, because right now if I paint, it's just going to paint a few of them. And undoing on paint is always fantastically slow. So we're going to turn the density up to like 2,000. Something crazy. Let's make our paintbrush a little bit bigger. Yeah, and also, we'll say the min scale, we'll say 2 to 3. And then we'll also, let's do a little random. This one, line max angle, that you say 90 with. Let's see. Getting there. Let's undo that. So that's good. Random pitch. Let's add a little tiny pitch. And let's jump this up to like 5,000. Overnight 10,000. Whatever. Anyways. There we have some grass. Now if we look, this grass looks pretty similar to that grass. The size is different, but whatever. Also, I didn't load all the maps, so keep that in mind. But the most important thing is it still looks like rockin' awesome grass. If I loaded in all the other maps, it would look, exactly shaded-wise like that grass. But most importantly is if I go lit, level of optimization, and I say shader complexity. See? Green. Horrible. Good. Huh? Yucky. Lovely. And if you're worried about pixel count, that's where the LODs come in handy. Because if we go to quad overdraw, you can see it's okay. But it's still in the green. Over there, it's not so happy. But if we zoom out, it stays green. That's the thing about this, is because Unreal creates the LODs, it stays green all the way back. So, whoop. And it's shader, super happy. And this is totally unhappy. But yeah, you can see how doing this for like other things like bushes and other forms of grass, you can end up pretty good off. And what I really like about it too, it stays on screen. Other grass, when you zoom out, it disappears. But that's due to bias and that sort of stuff. But just by the nature of how this is being built, it stays viewable. Now, if you want to add an LOD that's just an even more so cardboard cutout, the ones that come with these images, let me see if I can find my way back to it. What is also good, you could do it with the billboard. So just use Vector Magic to create those lines with these billboards, run it through the exact same process, and then you could have your LOD 4 instead of just up to 3. And when you're way back, it can switch over to those billboards and be cut out. And the beauty of it is you don't have to cut it out by hand, which is just painful. And this makes so you don't have to. So yeah, I hopefully this will save you a headache. Again, the major end goal is that look how happy it is. Green. It's green. That's it. Just normal light green. And that's not at all, but that is. So anywho, hopefully that helps some people. And yeah, I'll hopefully be making more videos again, since now I'm working on a architectural viz project. If you couldn't tell by the amount of assets, amount and type of assets I have there. So yeah, hope all has been well, and I'll see you around next time. Yeah.